So quite often when we look at IT, we look at values, at metrics, okay? And typically you would like those values to be low. So you need like green values. Easy example, maybe CPU utilization or any form of utilization. We want it low because we want resources. The problem is we need to rethink this when we look from an environmental angle, because if we have a low utilization of CPU or volumes or whatever, we actually have a waste of resources right now. It is perfectly fine if we go a little bit up, if we go into 80, 90% territory. Yes, those numbers will look red, it will look scary, but there's still some room left and it's much better for the environment. So we need to look at KPIs, at metrics from a different angle, and should have the environment in the back of our head for this. Most businesses do is they have a typical time where they recycle their hardware. When we talk about servers, we would be looking at 3, maximum of 5 years. Network gear, a little bit longer. We get easily 10 years out of network gear. So we swap hardware for various reasons. We need more power, or stuff is more efficient. The efficient one is actually quite good because usually the consumption of resources, electricity, is much, much lower. But still, each time we swap hardware, we create toxic waste, we create a lot of stuff which we don't want in the environment. And there's also data protection. Quite often it gets forgotten to reformat drives or whatever. We all have seen these stories. So what can we do? We could probably make sure that we utilize the hardware in a better way. And we might move away from 3-year-old machines and just throw them away. I'm pretty sure we have a use for those 3-year-old machines, for example, for backup machines or for pilot projects, whatever. So we can keep those gear much longer than we do right now. Unfortunately, it is. It is just moving the problem somewhere outside. It's true that some organizations actually do it like that. So they want to be like, I think it's called greenwashing. We are fine for the environment. We just use resources in the cloud, but we always use resources. It's a good idea to use, for example, observability solutions to look at what resources are in use and just find the best way, the best place to put it. Sometimes it is still in my own data center. Sometimes it is perfectly valid to put stuff in the cloud because they might store it somewhere where energy is better available, less cooling is required. So it's a case-by-case scenario, and it's definitely worth looking into these elements. This is green coding, and that is a hot topic. Unfortunately, it is also a costly topic. In green coding, we look at values like faster execution time of a software. We look values at a lesser footprint when it comes to memory utilization, etc., etc. It's actually quite obvious what is possible, but the problem is it does cost a lot of money. And most software vendors usually create the code, make sure it runs, make sure it's free of bugs, and off you go, we sell it. In green coding, we need to continuously optimize the code for those values, like execution time, for example. And I understand it will cost a lot of development time, so it will cost a lot of money, which not each vendor can afford. But considering that we live in a world where we need to pay a little bit more information on the environment, we should really make sure to find those minor small wheels. Together, green coding, better gear, and a change of mindset, remember the green and red values, does help. And all of this is green IT, and that's something we should look forward to.